Last week in the Herr Sprint Series, we went road course racing up in Wisconsin with Charles Bowens dominate to victory lane for his first win on the season. Here today we head up to the northeast of Dover, Delaware for the Miles the Monster, and we'll see what ends up happening with just a handful of races remain in the Herr Sprint Series. It's Sprint Series 9 in America at Miles the Monster. Hello everyone, it is Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome back to the Herr Sprint Series, and already for the 25th time on the season. And the season is winding down, and we only have a handful of races to go following tonight. But first we got Dover, and this is a very wild racetrack. It can be at times, and really, it's going to be interesting what ends up happening here in this one. And we got Matt Tuck up here in the booth for this one. And welcome to Dover here, Matt.
Yeah, haven't actually been in a Sprint Series race broadcast all season, unfortunately. But I think I called this race last year, and this is definitely one of the better tracks that the Sprint Series goes to. So we should be in for some exciting racing here tonight.
Absolutely, Dover's a very fun racetrack, and if there's anything of what we've seen already this year in the Herr Sprint Series, a lot of races have been bangers, and this one could be another one, and especially with the championship implications here tonight, it's going to be very interesting. Enable not in the field here, but BP Ruiz and Harry Anson Jr. start ahead of Alexander here tonight. So how do you think that's going to play out for our point leader?
Well, luckily for Rowe, I mean, he has a 25-point lead, so it's definitely not a total disaster situation for him here. I mean, he also drives a good car. I mean, he drives a 98. I think one of my drivers from my driver academy ran it this year. So he's definitely got a car to work his way through the field. And like I said, I mean, he has a nice little point lead, and number 2 in the championship is not in the fight here tonight. So things don't have to be perfect. As long as you can get out of tonight here, get a top 10, maybe, work your way up into the top 10 a bit here. There's definitely very easy damage mitigation here on the cards tonight for Alexander Rowe to not watch his championship lead evaporate.
Exactly, and for the good thing for him, Enable is not in the field, so really has a 31-point lead over Harry Anson Jr., but Harry Anson Jr. has been very consistent during the summer in both the 02 and the 98 for the most part. And Harry Anson Jr. does start second here tonight, so we just gotta wait and see what ends up happening. Alexander Rowe is still the point leader, like he has been most of the season. Has a 25-point lead over Enable in second, unfortunately not in the field here tonight, for only the second time on the season. Harry Anson Jr. 31 points behind, and third BP Ruiz in fourth, 36 points behind. Fifth is Chase McClure, 36 points behind. With 37 points behind. Sixth is Matt Blatt, 46 points back. Sammy Camilla in 7th, 53 back. J.L. Littleton, 58 back. Carson Miller in 9th, 73 points back. And then Andy Williams, 95 points back. And really, I think it's going to come down to the top 5 in points at this point. And we got to see what ends up happening on the pole. In the number 56, the development driver to Troy Smith is Juan Rodriguez. And alongside him is the 02 of Harry Anson Jr. Well, number 2 and the number 81, that is Michael Lewis, and the 50 of Chase McClure. The number 1 of Christopher Erickson Jr. and the 82 of Carson Miller. The fourth in points, BP Ruiz is back in the 57 this week, and Joshua Neely in the number 3. The number 4 of J. Rippleton and our point leader, Alexander Rowe, in the number 98. The number 97, Nathan Algebroi and Matt Black in the number 69. The number 13 of Andy Williams and the number 52 of Emily York Watson. The number 99 of Garrett Zendowska and the 87 of Sammy Camilla. The number 96 of Samet Oskin and the number 90 of Corey Case. And then everyone else is new here on the season. Darren Stanley is returning, along with the number 39 of Dylan Stanleven. And then 4 new drivers on the table here tonight. The number 37 of Ryan Madden, the number 64 of Sinoshiwan. Apologize for that. Then the 05 of Trey White, great to see him bet. And then the number 93 of Lucas Talon. So, 50 laps on tap. The Monster might be hungry here tonight. A couple of different groups of racing. Who do you think will win here for the Delaware 200?
Oh, you need a little bit of experience around here to get the job done. And inside of row number 2, Dracoan Racing and Michael Lewis, a great combination here tonight for a track like Dover. And I think this very bright 81 machine is going to find his way to victory lane here tonight.
Not bad. Pit Michaels has done a handful of races this season in this number 81 especially, and he's been pretty solid with this team. We gotta wait and see if he can get the job done. This might be one of his best qualifying ones, of course, with it being based off of lap time at World America last week. So, could see a win from one of these drivers. We gotta really watch out for Alan Anderson Jr. Stuff on the outside, but Still's up front. And we gotta watch out for the outpoint lead of Alexander Mo. Stuff's on the outside in the 10th position. 50 laps on tap. It is Sprint Series 9 in America here at Dover, and we are running out of time here in the Herr Sprint Series. After tonight, it will be, I believe, 6 races to go in the season. It will be Juan Rodriguez and Hallie Anderson Jr. bringing us to the green flag in the Sprint Series 9 in America for Dover 200. Very aggressive start throughout the field, and Mike Lewis all the way up to the second place spot, a little bit 3 wide behind him. And here comes the number 1 of Erickson Jr. coming for the second place spot. Hallie Anderson Jr. all the way got to the inside, and BP Ruiz is all the way making moves as they are still 2 and 3 wide. And unfortunately for Alexander, he's dropping like a walk early on.
Yeah, Rowe did not get down to the bottom of the race. I mean, nobody on that top lane had a good start there. Good gracious, they're going to go 3 wide down into turn number 1. Please be careful. That's going to be big winner to the number 4 of J.R. Ribbleton, who's going to move up a bunch, but they are absolutely gunning for everything here. Very short race. You got to make your places up here quickly. But that outside lane so far on fresh tires is not the place you want to be here.
Absolutely. Two or three different lanes, but really the inside lane is really want to be here at Dover and battle for the lead. I did a outstayer, new leader Erickson Jr. in the number 1 machine. Got past our poster of Rodriguez, but one thing that is interesting is that it's most of the bottom, but you can sometimes diamond the corners a little bit, and we gotta see if that ends up happening. And you mentioned that it's a fairly short race. It's Dover. Lap times fly by in about 20 seconds, so it's gonna be about 20 to 25 minute race. So just like the rest of the sprint series, it is a sprint here tonight, and I'm liking Hallie Anderson Jr. in 1 and 3rd, and might have a good shot at the race win here tonight.
Yeah, this is this is a good start here for the 02. Good start here for a couple drivers. Not a good race. Oh my goodness, Alexander Rowe is almost riding shotgun here. The only person having a worse start than him so far in this race is the 50 of Chase McClure. They're battling back there with the 13 of Andrew Williams. So not a good start for our points leader. He's now dead last. He has some work to do. He has time to make it up. But he's going to need to put in some work. J.R. Ribbleton, keep an eye on him. This 4 machine here for Titan Fury Racing is looking very strong early in the going.
Absolutely, up to the 3rd spot now. And Ribbleton, if he gets some good ones going late, he might have a shot. He's 8th in points, 58 points back. So he could have a slim shot, but he really has to hit the nail on the head for the last 7 races. Now something is really not going to be here tonight. Cosmella and B.B. Ruiz got past the number 02, and now Hallie Anderson Jr. is stuck on the outside as the A1 of Lewis slides up the racetrack a little bit as well. And this is not going to be ideal for the 02. Needs to get back to the bottom as soon as possible. But regardless, with Alexander while being in the back part of the field, regardless of the fact Ruiz and Harley Anderson Jr. are going to gain a little bit on him, and here comes Carson Miller for the 4th place spot.
Yeah, Miller's also moving his way in the right direction here early on in the going. I mean, you can see he's getting by some cars here. Going to set his sights on the pole sitter here in just a few moments. Michael Lewis was my pick to win, but it's not looking like he's having a good start. He's not having a good time here so far. The 81 and the 02 just not hooking up to the racetrack here. He's gotten passed by the 57 of BB Ruiz, who's gaining on Alexander Rowe as we run here in this championship. So some of our front-running Fords here start up front. They are heading in the backwards direction. Unlike, though, Christopher Erickson Jr. He is looking quite strong here in the Trackhouse racing machine early on in the going.
Absolutely, but I think someone that's looking even more strong, it might be this number 4 of Trey Littleton. He got past 3rd place, 4th place, and now he's in 2nd. And he's gaining on that number 1 of Erickson Jr. And he might end up having a shot to get his first win of the season here tonight. Great one from the number 56 of Juan Rodriguez as well, Carson Miller. There was at one point in the season during the summer where he won 2 in a row and almost won 3 in a row. And he might get win number 3 here on the long one. And that's the thing that we forgot to really mention, is that Dover does have tire here, and you gotta have a good car for all 50 laps and good tires for all 50 laps. And that's what I think Carson Miller and Trey Littleton has here tonight. And the top 5 is the number 81 of Michael Lewis. 6th is BP Ruiz. 7th is Samir Oskin. 8th is Joshua Neely. And then how about one of our new drivers, number 37 of Juan Madden, inside the top 10. And then Garrett Sandowska as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers moving their way here through the field. Hallie Anderson Jr. moving the wrong way through the field. The 39 of Dylan Matthews moving the correct way through the field. You've got also the 64 of Sioshi Wang moving through the field in the correct direction. The 88 there as well. I believe that was Dylan Standeven. Moving his way through the field. So there's some drivers who are moving their way up. The one thing I would be concerned about J.R. Riggleton over the long run, for the reason of, like you were saying, tire fall off quite aggressive. I say that he's closing in, so maybe he is saving his tires. This 82 and the 4, I do wonder, will their tires fade a little faster because of how aggressive they have been running at the start of this race?
Absolutely, tire is going to be a factor. Though there's one of the tracks where it does eat tires a little bit more than some others, and I think the number 1 might have been burning up the tires a little bit early on in the 1. And now it's definitely getting caught by Wimbledon and Carson Miller. And I think this A1 might have been saving the tires as well, same with BP Ruiz, and you might see some drivers make contact. Oh my goodness, Lewis into Rodriguez and about took both of them out in 3 and 4.
Oh boy, that was not an ideal situation there for Lewis. Almost got the position, so I guess it doesn't matter. 82 machine though. We gotta keep an eye on this 82 car here of Carson Miller, a guy who's definitely on a lot of people's radar for a Cup Series ride next year. He is moving his way through the field. And if he can get by J.R. Ribbleton here, he's got a lot of laps to go to work to chase down Christopher Erickson.
Absolutely. Still got 30 laps to go, and the 4 slips up a little bit. He's on to 82, and he's easily going to take it. I think Carson Miller, he's really been on a roll in the second half of the season, and he is taking advantage of it. And he does kind of have a shot at this championship still, if he has a good enough run towards the end of the season. And now he's trying to chase down Christopher Erickson Jr., one of his few starts on the season, trying to win. But he has a veteran on the season of Carson Miller right behind him. And we gotta watch out for this A1. I think some of the best cars on the long one might be the 82, the 4, and the number 81. and maybe even the 37 as well on the move for Ryan Madden. We're gonna quickly see has the number. Oh, something just happened
Oh, hold on,
in the
hold on,
field, and we
hold
got a
on.
caution.
Oh,
And the 97's on
oh
pit
my.
road.
Well, this changes everything.
That's ironic. I go to the field and have a caution, and that's gonna change everything. Like you said about halfway, I guess gonna say this is the halfway caution, and a little bit of a oh no, no, no!
Oh no.
Not a poster.
Oh, not the VTech. What a
What?
sequence of events here.
And I think it was a double engine, both the 56 and the 97, both with a double engine failure. Ouch.
Something to keep an eye on for the Cup Series race here this weekend, especially now in the summer. It's going to be hot Saturday here for the Wawa Cup Series, and this track, this is one of the few ovals that is kind of notorious for tearing up cars parts. So something to keep an eye on for heading into the Wawa Cup Series race this weekend.
Absolutely, that one's a much longer race, and because a little bit of a preview for that, unfortunate break for one of my cars, and an unfortunate break for one of the stronger teams on the scene of Andrews Racing, blowing a motor inside the top 4. We're going to quickly see what ended up happening to bring out the first caution of the day, and we will get back racing just past halfway here at Dover for the Delaware 200. Full speed, this happened to bring out the first caution of the day, and unfortunately Nathan Algebroy blows the motor, running in the 15th spot, and that was really close right there with the 90 and a couple of other drivers, and that almost became the big one in the back part of the field. And the main reason why this brings out the caution is because Nathan Ashboy stops on the track right there, and then the leaders right there of Erickson Jr. and Cosmiller, and at that point the officials had to bring out the yellow flag, and unfortunately that is what ended up bringing out the yellow, and it was Erickson winning the race back to the line. And then unfortunately under caution, the number 50 sits out Paul Sitter, and quite possibly one of the top 3 cars on the long one of Juan Rodriguez Jr. Just Juan Rodriguez. He ends up having a motor go down right there, and ended up being a double motor explosion here at Dover, and that might be a preview of what we see this weekend here in the Wawa Cup Series, with mechanical failures and a hot summer weekend. It's going to be a second half restart. Can Christopher Erickson Jr. win his first race in just his third start? Or will Cosmiller steal it and get his third win on the season? Let's find out right now in the Dover, at Dover for the Delaware 200. Well then, welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway, and it is time for the second half of the Delaware 200 after a double motor explosion. Unfortunately, right at the halfway point on this race, it was a header for the 97 that caused the caution, and then the 56 had a gearbox under the yellow, and that's a tough break for our poster. And then it is still led by the driver Mania's third star on the season of Christopher Erickson Jr. in the number 1, Carlos Miller in second, and then J.O. Whippleton in third, Michael Lewis in fourth, and now, instead of 6th, B.B. Reese is in the top 5. And how about Ryan Madden in 6th place now? Cement Oskin, Matt Blatt, Joshua Neely, and then Dylan Sandeven rounds out the top 10. And quick little update, the number 98 is up to 17th, so Alexander has made up a little bit of ground, but still not a great night for him. First half is complete, and the second half is underway here at Dover Motor Speedway.
I keep an eye on this 82 car here. Carson Miller and J.R. Ribbleton, they have been moving through the field here, and Ribbleton said, I'm going to waste no time, get to the inside of the 82. Erickson Loving what he's seeing. Oh, please don't.
Oh boy. I tell you what, some drivers that have really making moves all night long are making their way up to the front. Like the 37, first star on the season up here. 3 wide in the back. Matt Black has made some moves. BP Ruiz now this time's getting swallowed up on the Reese. Still have Anderson Jr. is back on the move, and once again, all season long, where did Alexander Wolf come from? And he's now inside of the top 15, and he's making some moves as one of his championship rivals is dropping back.
Yeah, Rose having a nice little recovery drive here, and more importantly, he just got around BB Ruiz, so that's very important for him here in the championship. But Miller and Ribbleton going at it here. That's the best thing that Ericsson Jr. can see here. He is starting to just walk away from him here, but this is going to be a frantic scrap here for the second position. I think we've got a bunch of cars. I mean, we've got the 69 machine here of Matt Black. We haven't seen him all race. The 3 car, the 88. We got a bunch of new players here to get on the podium.
Absolutely, new players galore on this week. So, and if this is just a preview of what we see in the World Cup Series race, then I think Dover might cook here this weekend. Jay Ribbleton with a great one off turn number 2. I think the tires are working a little bit in their favor on the outside. And you know what? Matt Black out of nowhere, he might have a shot in the second half for maybe his third win on the season. And that's the thing, he is still in fighting distance. He's 16 points. He's only 46 points behind. That is easy to make up in 7 races time. So Matt Black still has a shot at this championship, I think, in that 69 machine for Delaware Racing. But how about this number 1? He's out of here on the restart. Whew.
Yeah, Ericsson Jr. having a great run here today. Just absolutely walking away from this field here late in the going. And correct me if I'm wrong, just looking through the points. Is this Christopher Ericsson Jr.'s first career start? Because I don't see him in the. Is this
third.
his third career start for first?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great performance here for Ericsson and Trackhouse Racing. You know, definitely a great day here for the one. Also a great day. I mean, I got to the 82 and the 37. They are having a very, very nice time here for Herr Motorsports. They're currently double on the podium. And both their drivers moving their way through the field here.
Absolutely. Of course, Cosmo has made every start, so he's still a little bit ahead than everyone, but like this 37, one of 4 drivers made the first start on the season. He started outside of the top 20 today, and he's already inside of the top 3. And that's just very impressive, and that is a positive sign for the World Cup Series race here this weekend. You can definitely make the way up through this field, and that's what the 37 has done. And we gotta wait and see what ends up happening, because we saw at the start of the race, Ericsson Jr. had a big lead early on, but he brought up his stuff a little bit towards the end of that first one before the caution, and he was getting caught. So we gotta see if that ends up being the case, but when I say that, he jumps up a little bit. So gotta wait and see. I think Matt Black is closing in on Ryan Madden for his 3rd place spot. Carson Miller is starting to pull away from the 37. And it's gonna be about 13 or 14 laps to go next time by. Well, this time by Ribbleton inside the top 5, Neely in 6th, then Doska in 7th. Then 8th is Dylan Steeleven, 9th is Aon Abel, and, well, not Aon Abel, that is Corey Case this week. Good rebound for him. And then the number 93 of Lucas Allen, another newcomer here today, inside of the top 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of first-timers here who are having a very good day here. You know, I mean, Ericsson Jr., very new to the series here. You got a bunch of other drivers here who we haven't seen at all this year, or have seen very little of. And after that caution that kind of split the race up here, it kind of reshuffled almost everybody in this top 10 outside of the 1, the 82, and the 4 car round. So good for a lot of these guys, you know, to get some good runs in. I think the 82, I'll keep homing in on him, Carson Miller. I remember when we called the National Cup race, he put in an unbelievable drive. And he's definitely a guy to watch as far as somebody who could get a ride in the Cup Series next year. So is Alexander Rowe, though. I mean, by the way, the Sprint Series champion gets a reserve. So there's a lot on the line here for winning the Sprint Series. And Rowe's having a decent comeback day here. Not too bad. Obviously could have gone better, but not a bad day here to come back for Alexander Rowe.
And this reminds me a lot of last week at World America. He didn't really have a good day, but he snuck his way into top 10 and got another top 10. And he's inside of the top half of the field in 12th. He only needs to get past the 39 and the 93, both of the ERR cars. And if he does that, he will sneak in another top 10 this season. And that's been a key. Sure, he has 5 wins, but besides that, he keeps on racking up those top 10s, and that's what you need to do in a all-season points format like this. And he's going to try and take the 11th spot away. And fortunately, another day where for BP Ruiz and Howie Anderson Jr., they could have capitalized on the terrible start from Alexander Rowe, and that's not going to be the case. And Howie Anderson Jr. and BP Ruiz are going to lose even more ground on our point lead.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting championship fight here. There's not a lot of opportunities left, but when you're given an opportunity, you know, you really got to step up to the plate and take it. Aaron Abel, I mean, this is kind of a missed opportunity for him this week. Obviously, J.R. Ribbleton and Carson Miller, they're kind of sitting on the outside looking in. But you know, going to gain some nice, especially for Carson Miller, he's going to gain a nice haul of points on Alexander Rowe today. So this should be, Carson Miller might have a shot here if he can string together some good runs here in this championship fight. But we got a lot of battles here late in the going of this race. Battle for the final podium spot, battle for the top 5. But these tires, Nathan, they are screaming on their last legs.
And at the end of the race, only 5 laps to go, and you can just tell these guys are really struggling here. And you know what? This is exactly what happened at the first one. Look at this. Carson Miller has closed in massively on our race leader. It was 1.3 seconds, and now it's down to just over half a second with 4 laps to go. This is not over here at Dover.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Does Ericsson have a problem? He was going perfectly fine. I don't know if the one car doesn't have a problem. He looks like he's dropping. We'll see here at the line if he. Oh my.
I think
he opened it back up. He opened it back up. That was a sudden drop in time there between the top 2.
Goodness, we saw that in the first half towards the end, but I think Ellison just spun up himself, and Carson Miller, you know, he's winning this full season. He knows how to save his tires, and another good 1 through 3 and 4. He's closing back in. This is not over, Matt. This is not over.
He might get an opportunity here. He goes under the bridge, coming to take the white flag this time. Christopher Erickson Jr., this has been such a good drive for him, but Carson Miller, this is a guy who has some big-time game to him. White flag, 1 mile to go. Miller's going to need a huge 1 and 2 and a bump and run. Uh-oh.
Goes wide in 1 and 2. Miller's been really good in 3 and 4. If that same happens again, and he might have a shot, the 1's going to go a little bit wide. The 82's going to have a little bit of a one more lap, and he would have gotten it. Erickson Jr. went number 1 on the season, and just his third start barely hangs on to it with a hard charging Carson Miller late.
Woo!
We mentioned that the tire wear, it came into a factor in the first half with the number 1 blowing up the tires, and Carson Miller was closing in, and it happened again, and Carson Miller was really flying, especially in 3 and 4 the last 5 laps, and so close. I think 1 or 2 more laps, if this was 51 or 52 laps, or maybe if that caution happened a little bit sooner, who knows, maybe Carson Miller would have gotten it. But how about that? Another winner for Trackhouse Racing. That's, I believe, the second time that car has won recently with 2 different drivers, and Ericsson Jr., Christopher Ericsson Jr., third star on the season, and he gets his first win on the season.
No, it was a good drive there for Ericsson. I mean, he went and attacked those front runners very quickly, got around them, and then just I definitely wonder if that caution didn't come out. Well, granted, the 56 of Juan Rodriguez might have brought out the caution had Nathan Aboye not blown a motor there, so we might have seen a caution just a bit later. But it was a great effort by Miller. He's going to Alexander Oath 11, Miller second. It's not guaranteeing him a spot at going for the championship, but he definitely a last-ditch effort here to save the season and get himself potentially back in the title fight. That is the right direction here for him to head in tonight.
Absolutely. If he does that, well, he gets top 3, and if Alexander doesn't get top 10 for the rest of the season, then maybe he could have a shot at the finale at Darlington. But a tough day for Howley Anson Jr., 19th, beat Louise 17th when they were inside the top 10 for most of it. And then Trace McClure as well, all the way back in 21st. So on the day where it looked like, again, that Alexander was going to lose a lot of ground, he's going to gain even more on Howley Anson Jr., BP Louise, Abel, and McClure. However, guys like Matt Black, 4th today, he's going to gain a little bit and could be 2nd to 3rd. It's going to be really close for 2nd through 5th, I think, after this race. Sam Kamala, not a good one, but Littleton with a good one, Miller with a good one. Really, 2nd through the 9th could get very tight, leaving this one. But what's the final thoughts of after that one, Matt? And how do you think the World Cup Series race will go after that chaotic one here for the Sprint Series?
Well, I mean, we know the tires are very important here, and we know track position is important, but it is an interesting racetrack because we'll run the pit stop Saturday. So there will be the ability, to kind of strategically gain yourself some position because this is, I believe, I think, the track that you gain the most with an undercut because of how heavy the fall off is. So it should be a lot of fun. I think also like today, we're going to see some great racing. Again, though, something to keep an eye on. We've seen both years now of the Wawa Cup Series. We've seen mechanical failures come into play, and it's been a few weeks since we've seen anything major. No, actually, I shouldn't say that. But if there's a track that I think could tear some stuff up here, mechanically wise, this is the track. But hats off to Ericsson Jr. today. That was a fantastic drive by him.
Absolutely, and you mentioned mechanical failures, but we saw 2 of them here today, and that could happen here for the World Cup Series. Thanks for Matt for joining me up here in the booth here today at Delaware. 6 races to go in a crazy season in the Herr Sprint Series. And science for next week will be happening probably right now at my home racetrack of Minneapolis Motor Speedway. And I'm excited for that one next week for the Indy 200, I believe. So we're going to see what happens for that one. Congratulations to Christopher Ericsson Jr. on win number 1 on the season and just his 3rd start as well. The points will be at the end of the video, and we will see you guys next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.